Your mom waits a second before she sees things.
Onefootflipper.
Hi, Paige here, the One Foot Flipper. How's it going, everybody? I'm doing okay. Sales aren't that great, but as I've always said, my fault. I don't really have one large, overwhelming topic for this video. It's mostly going to be a what sold video of things I've sold over about the last week, with a few talking segments chopped in here and there. You know, just to make it a little bit interesting. So, one thing I've realized that I've done is that I've actually invested every single dollar I've made this year in various ways, because honestly, in our situation with our paid off house and we don't buy cars on credit or anything like that, we make enough, my wife makes enough on her own to cover all of our expenses. So I'm more and more considering just trying to invest every single dollar that I make on eBay and on YouTube once I get monetized again, and to see where that could bring me. Is that the sort of thing you want to hear about, or you're like, Paige, we don't care about you bragging. We don't want to hear about how your net worth goes up every week. We don't want to hear about that. Let me know in the comments if that actually is the sort of thing you'd want to hear about. All right, I think I'm hitting some new lows on eBay. 3 days, 3 sales. Sold this tank conversion kit for $25. Let's hope this one doesn't end up with a return like the last one is going to. Wizardry 5 for the Apple II with extra discs, $54.95. I put this cheapest on eBay. For some reason, it still took 8 months of markdowns to sell. Awakening sealed VHS, $2.20. My freshly opened retirement account that only has $2,200 on it made more money in the last 3 days than eBay did. Okay, sold this astronomical navigation book for $42 and some change. This was a gift from an old roommate about 20 years ago. I used to like weird stuff like this, and I enjoyed it at the time, but its time with me is done now. Moving on to somebody else. Extremely rare book, only seemed to exist as database entries in a few libraries that had it in Europe. So here I am in the parking lot of the orthodontist again. My daughter is in there again. Managed to get here 10 minutes late because I couldn't find my car keys or this little pouch that I keep my keys in my wallet in anywhere. Spent a half hour tearing up my main room, only to discover that they were sitting in the socket of my leg, where I tend to put them at least a third of the time. Not sure why that never occurred to me. Probably because I usually put the leg on before I go looking for the keys. That's why. One good thing in operating off keeping a specific amount of items in your store and having a little bit of reserve is that you can kind of blow some whole days off if necessary. I've gotten extremely little done today. Between, you know, waking up at the crack of 9:30 and making video and spend some time looking at stocks, and sometime just disappeared completely in either. I didn't know where. About 2 hours total just vanished entirely. Not sure where it went. Phantom time or something. I don't know. But also I had 2 full stores, and so I didn't have to list anything. And unfortunately I also didn't sell much, so I don't have to ship much of anything either. Do have one hanging issue. Somebody bought a Martyr 2 Wargame conversion kit. It changes out the weapon on some sort of very specific model tank or vehicle. And apparently it didn't have instructions with it. Now, I didn't know it was supposed to have instructions with it, but now I'm dealing with that. And of course this kit was both out of production for about 15 years and was very esoteric when it came out. So good luck to me finding those instructions. And the customer is holding off on their feedback to see what I can do, which means that they're wanting to leave me a negative feedback. So it was a couple of days ago that ADH Dave announced that he was switching completely to live selling on Dibdit, and that I talked about it too. And now I wonder, has anyone picked up any deals off of that? Has anyone gotten any killer sourcing done off of that? I don't need anything right now, so I'm not going to be buying things when I don't need them, but I just bet there definitely were some killer items to be had, and probably still will be. I can't imagine he sold out everything he had in 2 days. Or maybe he did, I don't know. The man is a machine sometimes. All right, let's look at some sales. This was another slow day, but that's okay. I'm just going to ride this storm out, make the room I want to, and not continue to expand my store. I'm continuing at the 12,500 listings all the time, not one more, not one less, but using drafts to stay even that way. Sold this Logitech Harmony remote for, what did I sell this for? $169.83. Not bad for a Goodwill Bins find. Of course, it sold for more the first time before the first person returned it, though. They said it was dirty. It wasn't. Sold this Funko Pop McDonald's Birdie plush, $4.75. I think that's another Bins pickup. I sent somebody the wrong hat, so now I got to send them the right hat. I let them keep the wrong hat. It's the St. Louis Cardinals fitted cap. Since I live in St. Louis, I get so many Cardinals hats that I had the situation where I had two of them that were basically an identical cap in different sizes in the same box, and I didn't realize it. I normally try to not have identical caps in the same box of different sizes. Else, for roughly $36 in an off eBay sale, I sold 5 historical miniatures. And these were consignment items, so they're going to go on the spreadsheet of whoever I got it from. I don't have that information up in front of me, though, right now, because the person emailed me privately to buy them off of eBay. It was a repeat customer who had already purchased them from me in the past. Sold an Ed Hardy notebook from the roughly 1999-2000 era for $9.50. Sold a lot of 3 deck boxes for the artwork, at least, matching the Force of Will card game. And that was $7.99 for the lot. I've got quantity on that. Looks like I have 4 sets of those left. Sold at Disney Parks Daisy Ducks for $9.22. Yeah, I'm selling a lot of plush for some reason. What else? $26.87. This Trail of the Sky Raiders adventure module for the classic Traveler role-playing game. Got the nice $1.99 price tag on the cover, which is about what I paid for it as well. Anything left? Oh, yep, one more plush. We got a Troll Poppy Cuddle 22-inch Pillow Pal, $3.91. That's all I got for today, other than cards. Card account has been doing great. Ever since I went to having a completely static number of listings in that card account, which is 10,900 for that account, the 100 gives me just enough wiggle room over my maximum number of listings per month to keep it full all the time. So every morning I wake up, I'm like, oh, there's 22 cards to ship. I drop 22 new listings in from the drafts and ship the 22. And that one just keeps going up month over month. If it goes up too good, I'm actually going to have a problem being able to ship the stuff. Wish my regular account was doing that now. Alright, in efforts to get my average sale price up, and thus my average listed and sale price up, I'm going ahead and making a sale on my main store. Just turned on a sale of 15% off everything that's $10 and below. Hopefully that'll move some stuff out. Usually I'm price best to begin with. I didn't put the sale on quantity items, though, because some of those quantity items under $10 I literally have hundreds of. I am not necessarily trying to move those. I'm trying to move those individual SKUs I've only got one of. Make a little bit of space so I can put better stuff in. You know, replace those $5 items with $15 items. Replace those $2 items with $20 items. That sort of thing. Let's hope it works. I ran a sale for a month on my physically largest items. 20% off, didn't sell a single one. So let's hope this sale works a little better. Alright, let's look at some sales. I sold Osmo Detective Agency Mystery Game, $9.66. This apparently hooks up to your cell phone somehow. I'm not exactly sure how it works. I sold a Monster Surge Protector for $13.81. I pick up the higher dollar and higher brand surge protectors when I see them at the bins because they're a really easy profit. I never have any problems with them. So fast list, fast pack. Sold a Bratz Yasmin doll in Wild Safari clothes, $16.20. Sold a couple of Pokemon bookmarks for $2.50. I don't have them in front of me. They're boring. In this box are a couple of Warhammer vehicles. They're not painted. They're not complete. They're called Dark Eldar Raiders. They kind of look like Jabba's sail barge, but they're not painted, so they're really boring looking. That's sold for $40.85. Little Egypt Farms, Cache, Illinois. Hat sold for $13.82. This is an auto cap made in Taiwan, probably from the 90s. This is one of those hats where you never know. I don't think there are any other hats for this location available, so kind of had to just guess it as to whether or not anybody would care, and they did. A vintage wall phone, an ITT, not an AT&T, $14.74. I always like getting these. I don't even test them because, nope, these things are indestructible, and 90% of the people who buy them are buying them for collections or for props, so they don't use them anyway. Never had a return on one of those. Sold this bag of armless Warhammer Terminator figures for $21.02. Sold the last of my Jenny Goldmane card sleeves. That was all of $4.56. I put everything under $10 on a sale to try to clear out lower dollar items, so it made a few cheap things sell. And I sold 2 bags of Warhammer miniatures for a total of $115, one of which are fantasy orcs that are all metal, and the other which are metal Imperial Guard for the Warhammer 40,000 game. Alright, let's look at some sales here. Sold this cold brew coffee maker with vacuum insulated carafe for $17.88, somewhere between $3 to $5, and this from a garage sale. Looks like it's brand new. A Washington, D.C. Robin Ruth baseball cap embroidered, $12.83. So some of my hats are selling. Sold a total of 5 Pokemon posters going to a Doral, Florida address that is a freight forwarder, and they asked me not to include any invoice with it. Now you get that message both from drop shippers and from freight forwarders, because when this gets sent on to the person's place where they live, they don't want customs to see anything in it showing what they paid for it. In this case, I believe the person lives in Trinidad and Tobago, and he's buying Pokemon posters. I sold a like-new 1982 Walkmaster, in which they paid $16.83, but they paid $70 in shipping. So, which is one reason why I'm okay with selling stuff like this, because I charge the standard rate for the shipping. I don't charge the reduced rate, so I usually end up making plenty of money on shipping. And no, I'm not a terrible person for doing that. I'm a person who likes to make money for doing that. I don't want to ever be stuck shipping something like that out at a massive loss. RC Otter's cap, $6.80. This has some Dream Sickles figurines in it. Lot of 11. They're kind of weird ice baby looking things. Got this from viewer Zach, $8.07, so a very small amount of money will go into Zach's spreadsheet. Brand new Cooper Tires sample hat, $15.15. A sample hat usually happens when the hat companies overprint a hat for hats for existing orders, and then they'll send out these hats to other companies to show what different kind of hats they can make. Sold an empty box for the NES Totally Rad game, $51.44. I only have one empty box left. Empty boxes for NES and Super NES games are almost always worth more than the cartridge itself is. I keep thinking I'm out of wooden stamp lots, but I keep finding myself wrong. $10.73 for this, and they paid twice as much in shipping. It's full of wooden stamps. Wooden stamps are bad. You don't want them. For a total of $25.75, one customer bought this little baggie of 3 pilots / turret operators for Warhammer, and this Warhammer figure with a missing sword. Children's baseball glove, $4.21. See, I bought this off season. I shouldn't have done that. I sold this license plate here that I got from ADHJ for $8.07. There are also a couple others over the last couple days that I did not bother to film. You know, they're all license plates. It all pretty much looks the same anyway, right? And I sold a couple of Pokemon bookmarks that are not in front of me right now. All right, well, it's time to get this stuff shipped out. So one of the best parts about being self-employed is that I can stay in bed until 8:55 and still make it to my workstation by 9 a.m. to start work. And today I received a package from Australia. It's addressed to Quigley D. Under, which means that I know it's from a viewer. Let's open it up and see what we got. Oh, we've got an octopus. I think we all know who this comes from then. This Disgruntled octopus. Thank you so much. I will put a link down on your channel. And what else? There's a bunch of little wrapped up things. Let's see what we got. Oh my goodness. These are wrapped up good. Alright, this looks like a miniature. I think this is Warhammer Lord of the Rings from like 25 years ago. Let's open up one more just to be sure. Alright, and it looks like exactly the same. It's another archer. Well, hey, thank you so much for these minis and the octopus. I'll find a great home for the octopus. I'm going to go ahead and unwrap all these guys because I don't know if they're the same, and I will get them listed. Thanks so much. Alright, not a lot of sales today, so I didn't even drag the real camera down. I'm using the cell phone like a monster. Sold a bag of 20 plastic orcs for $20.90. Not bad. The plastic ones are often only worth $1 a piece. They only cost like $2 each when they're new anyway. I sold a lot of 3 Dave Matthews Band CDs for $2.35 plus shipping. That wasn't worth my time. And also not worth my time is I sold this box full of little toys for $13.69, but I'm going to have to rebox it. I often pre-box my lots, and that one is so old that it's actually in a priority box, and I haven't used priority mail in a year. Okay, it looks like I got some mail here. Oh, I recognize the name on this one. One of my favorite fans, but she doesn't like her name to be mentioned in the video, so I'm not going to. What do we got here? Oh my goodness, it is the Quigley Down Under soundtrack. This is one of the few missing things for my Quigley collection. At this point, I've got the soundtrack. I've got the video on every format except for Blu-ray and except for the 35mm film version itself. There's none of those on eBay though. But just thank you so much to that secret fan. I'm going to be setting up a nice little display of all these. Also, don't have a Quigley poster either. Just let you know. And other thing is, that's a bubble mailer. It's from Gyropack, my favorite supplier. I got the emerald green 4x8s here. A lot of people don't buy 4x8s, but it's really a good size because it's great for sticking just medium-sized items, like smallish items, but that are, you know, like G.I. Joe guys, smaller action figures. If you wanted to ship an iPhone in one, you could, and so on. And I can't say enough about Gyropack's quality. It's way better than the stuff that I was buying from Amazon before. So, hey, why don't you check it out? There's a link and a code down in my description. Code OneFoot, and there's a link down there. You'll get 10% off your order, and I'll get a little bit of I think I get like a tiny little commission off that. It's not much, and they don't pay me to do these videos, but hey, it's a great company, and I'm glad to let you know about them. You ever get one of those orders that actually is a good order, but it actually just makes you nervous? Well, I just got one of those. One customer just bought me out completely on 2 of my quantity listings of Pokemon cards. They're both cards that have been selling very well recently, and he bought all of them at just under $150. I don't like sending $150 worth of Pokemon cards to one customer at a time, particularly one who's also a seller and has 6 negative feedbacks in the last month. Although those feedbacks are all for canceling and or not shipping and refunding PSA graded Pokemon cards. So I don't know if that really says anything or not, but this order is making me nervous, and if I get any problems with this customer, you will hear all about it in a future video. Hey, thanks for making it all the way to the end. If you know any low-income, high-net-worth individuals, why don't you tell them about this channel? I could use a few more subscribers.
See, that's One Foot Flipper's nonsense video.
So now that it's just us, let's talk about something. In recent years, more and more drugs to treat obesity have come onto the market, and they've started to be more and more effective. Do you think that fat people are going to be a thing of the past eventually? And if so, how are the healthy people going to let everyone know that they're healthier? This is something to think about.